Want to have the best outcome possible from a difficult conversation? You know, those sticky situations that have to be cleaned up? Well, that's what we're going to cover in this video. Hi, my name is Archield. I've been a business coach and consultant since 2006. And I currently serve as fractional director of insight and strategy for several coaches, consultants, and other service-based businesses. So let's get into our topic today. It's how to clean up your energy when you're having those difficult conversations. I like to think of these difficult conversations as truth-telling sessions, where you're there to speak your truth and you're there to hear someone else speak theirs too. And this someone else can be a client, a colleague, an employee, a contractor, maybe a friend, a family member, a spouse or significant other. It can be anyone. This isn't just something that entrepreneurs deal with. This is something we deal with in every facet of our lives, because there's all sorts of tricky, sticky situations and conversations that we've been called upon to have. And if there's something that I've learned over time, the reason they're sticky and tricky and often go sideways is that we're bringing all of our baggage to the conversation. So the question becomes, how do we not bring our baggage to the conversation? Right? That's typically the question. But I kind of want to back up a little bit from there even. One of the reasons it's an issue to bring all of your stuff to the conversation. And when I say all your stuff, I'm like emotional baggage. I'm talking about your perceptions, your intent, your perceptions of the other person and what they may be thinking, because we kind of think about all different sides as we're going through, right? I always like to say, play the tape all the way through. But sometimes when we're in these conversations, we just need to enter clean, and we need to enter with the most optimism possible. Why is that? The environment always wins. That's the one maxim I learned a long time ago in my coaching career. The environment always wins. So if we create a good, productive environment, chances are good we're going to have good, productive truth-telling sessions, good, productive conversations. Okay, so are you with me there? Remember, the environment always wins. So let's create the best environment possible. So what we can do on our side to create the best environment possible is to clear our energy. So there are 3 ways that I typically clear my energy when I'm about to engage in what I initially perceive as a difficult or sticky conversation. So the first thing, if I can, I get into water. There's just something about water that washes away all the muck, both physically and energetically. So I'll take a shower, I will take a bath, I will go for a swim, I'll get in a hot tub, I'll go out to the ocean. It reminds me, I'm trying to remember, I think it's a song from this musical called South Pacific. I'm going to wash that man right out of my hair and send him on his way. It's kind of like washing all those thoughts away from you, washing away all those preconceptions, washing away all the kind of maybe negativity that you've put around the conversation or the person or the situation or whatever. All those things. And you're just letting them all flow away from you, washing away all the muck. So if it is possible, I think that's probably one of the best things to do. Now that just could be because I've got Scorpio rising, but I really believe that's one of the best things you can do. Get into water, let it pull all the muck around the situation away from you and clean your energy. Now, the second way that I think works really, really well is to breathe. So that's something we could definitely do, even if you have like a really short notice, which sometimes that's what happens. We got short notice where we have to have these conversations, right? So even if you're on short notice when you're about to have this conversation, you can always breathe. I know you're probably saying, I breathe all the time. I do too. So what kind of breathing am I talking about? I'm talking about some deep meditative breathing. Now, I'm not necessarily saying to meditate. Maybe you will have the time to do that. Maybe you won't. But what I'm talking about is a very structured way of breathing. And I will put the video down below because I do have a video on the 4-part breath. So I'll put that video down below and maybe put it up in the cards so that you can watch it and follow along, because you can do that at any moment. It takes less than a minute and it really just changes your energy like that. Okay? So that is one of what I think is a really great thing to do, is to breathe. Now, the third thing that I wholeheartedly recommend is to journal, right? Sometimes you have that time where you can journal. You know, sometimes you have maybe an hour or so before you know you're going to have a conversation, or even 30 minutes. You can sit and write it all out. Get all the stuff that's bothering you about it. Get all the stuff the person did or what your perceptions are, and just write it all out on paper. That really helps get it all out. Like, again, like that water washing it all away. This is another way to get it all away from you, right? To use your words that you're spinning, instead of spinning them and really kind of letting that magic that comes from our words. We want to speak life over people rather than ugliness, right? And so might as well get that ugliness out on the paper. Or, you know, if you're like, I hate to write, fine. Everyone's got voice memo on their phones. Just get it all out in the voice memo, right? But get it out, get it away, so that you can go into the conversation clean. That's how you release. That's how you clear all your baggage, and how you have clean energy as you're entering into these conversations that could be sticky or tricky or however that you're initially perceiving it. And it opens you up to possibility. So here's a bonus way, and what I think is a way that I love the most. When I find out it's time to have one of these conversations, I am breathing. I am doing the 4-part breath. And then I shower or bathe or swim or something, get myself in the water, do that full-on cleansing. Then I journal. Anything that's left in, I journal it all out. Burn it, because if you have time, just burn it, because it no longer matters. You want to go into this completely energetically clean. And then just before I enter that conversation, I do my breathing again. It's that important, because it shifts any other lingering muckiness that could be there. And then what have I done? I've created, like I said, this container of possibility, this container where I can just neutrally tell my truth. And oddly enough, when you're coming in with a certain energy like that, other people respond to that and they tell their truth in as much neutrality as well. In essence, what you give out, you get back, especially energetically. So get yourself in that container prepared so that you can have the best outcome possible. And if there's one thing I want you to take away from this, because it transcends even this conversation about having the best outcome possible in a tricky conversation or a difficult conversation, I want you to remember the environment always wins. So set up the environment, whether it's for your friends, family, children, significant others, spouse, clients, colleagues, employees, contractors. Set up a winning environment and things will always go more smoothly for you. All right, love bugs, I'm so excited that we were able to have this conversation. I want to hear your thoughts below. What are some tricky conversations or difficult conversations that you have had? And what did you do? What was the outcome? How could it have been different, good or worse? All right, let's hear about it below in the comments. And if you want more tips like this, make sure to watch this video or check out this playlist. And don't forget, I did link a video below on the 4-part breath. And with that, I say peace, joy, love to you.